So, I found some brushes that might be capable of being fixed, though I'm in some doubt on this one as it's been that way for years. But the main thing is I found one Ben Nye brush, which definitely is fluffier than it ought to be. And I thought I would try to fix that. So the things that you need to go and fix brushes that you've been cleaning by doing this, which is not the way you want to clean a makeup brush. You want to always, always, always do like that. And or massage in something that you want to get out, but still do like that. Always going in the direction of the brush bristles. But when you have one where they've gotten fluffy, or somebody didn't know that and they did a bunch of this to it, and you want to try and get it flat again, this is what you do. Start with a number of things. Ideally, you need one of those detail brushes that's like brass, ideally. It looks sort of like a toothbrush, but it would be very painful if you used it for your teeth. So a brass brush is great. If you haven't got that, a big safety pin with a nice strong piece of wire in it that doesn't bend is also useful. It's useful even if you do have the wire brush, but it's especially useful if you don't have a wire brush, as it's something you can use as a substitute. The other thing you need is you need some kind of bar soap, ideally white, but I'm doing this in my apartment where I only have this because I picked it up in a hotel room a long time ago. You want water. You want some kind of scruffy towel that you don't mind staining. You want some kind of oil. In a perfect universe, you would have like cold cream or some sort of face oil stuff. I have some hand cream here that's like from the 1980s. I don't use hand cream much. But you can also use things like canola oil, or actually one of the things I'm fondest of is coconut oil. Any kind of greasy substance that won't smell bad when you're done. It's basically for rehydrating your brushes. So the first thing you do is you get your brush wet in the water, and you go back and forth lengthwise. Let's flip this over. On the soap first. And you keep doing that. And then you go and try and comb it out by running it lengthwise on there. Make a little of that go out. You don't actually have to have that one be the first one. You can also have the first one be the grease. So you get your grease to come out. That's looking awfully thin. Well, as I say, I haven't used this since the 1980s. But then you put that in. Again, always going in the direction of the bristles. Get it nice and moisturized. Then you go back at the soap. Then you go back at your wire brush, trying to get those tangles out. It basically is like hair that doesn't like to obey because somebody over-teased it, because that's really what it is. So you're just trying to comb out the tangles and get it going in that direction. Now, I don't really think this is working that well, so I'm going to actually go with the canola oil. If I can get the lid off. I don't use that very often either. But here is a little bit of that. And I'm going to put that greasy substance in. And again, I'm always brushing in that direction. And I'm brushing in that direction down a little wire brush, and I'm brushing in that direction on the bar of soap. And then I'm rinsing it out and I'm brushing in that direction on the towel. And you just keep doing this with the grease and the little wire brush and the soap till you get the things in line. Now, sometimes if you've been doing this a long time, or if somebody really just, they did a number on your brush, then you go to the safety pin. And for that, I need both hands. So I'm going to put this down and hopefully it won't tip over. Let's try leaning it against that brush. No, that wasn't going to work. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, okay. Let's hope I don't tip that over. It is, after all, an expensive foam. So then you go and you take the pin to try and undo any tangles that might have formed at the very base. Because when people go and take a brush and grind it, what happens is right down at the base in here, you get little tangles. And so you try and go through it like that and get them out. Now this one I'm pretty sure won't work because it's been this way for years. Indeed, I kind of got used to it being this way and used it for fluffing off gold leaf. But it's a good one for illustrating the technique in a large scale as compared to the little one, which I think I can save, but it will be so small you won't really be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that and constantly massage it down in the direction that you're trying to get the fibers to go. Never put them in the direction where they will fluff up, and constantly rehydrate with the oil. Massage it in, and keep at it, and comb it out, and go in the direction of the bristles. And you do this for quite a while, repeating around in a circle, rinsing it out from time to time. And finally what you do is you make sure that you've massaged a good amount of the oil into the center of it so that it doesn't stay dried out. And you do whatever you can with the pin to break up any tangles at the bottom. And once you've got as much as you can do with that, then you soap the crap out of it. You just try and get as much soap as you can into there with the grease, and you use that to try and flatten it out and get it to stick into a flat thing, ideally like a knife blade. Now here you can see it is keeping on coming out because it's like it's forming into two knife blades because it's been left too long. But you can often get one to go back together that hasn't been gone this long. And I'm betting that this one we can probably get together if I do this again over a period of days. However, that will be longer than you want to have the video. We do, however, want to get the soap with the oil, because the soap tends to dry it out, the oil rehydrates it, but the soap, what the soap does for you is when you get it into that blade shape, the soap, if you put it on thickly enough, like here, I'm going to go and actually put the soap on that way. You put it on thickly enough and it forces it to hold its shape. And then you can let it dry overnight. And if you keep doing that, you will eventually get it to go back. Even ones that take like that have been that way for years. Now, on a little one like this, it's just a little bit too fluffy. This is much easier. All I'll do is I'll put a little oil in it, put a little water so that I can get to the soap, and I'll run the soap through it. And just doing that once is all you need to go and get that blade shape. So that one's just one that was, it's getting a little old, it's getting a little fluffy, and you can get it to reassert its blade-like aspect that simply. Each brush that has, fluffiness where you don't want it, again, depending on how far gone it is, you have to do more of the combing it out and more of the hydrating with the oil. But always just concentrate on making it go in the same direction as the hairs of the brush are supposed to go. And making sure that you get it rehydrated in the center and that you get it soaked sufficiently on the outside that it helps it hold onto a skinny blade-like shape, ideally for overnight. And if it doesn't do it in one night, you can do it over several. And then you will have your brushes back. And that's it.